Hey guys, if you like my stuff, just like and subscribe, because when we get to 3k, I'll start a brand new What If. I think you guys will love it. Also, make sure to join the Discord server in the description, so we can just chat. It'll let you talk to me much easier than YouTube, because YouTube notifications are garbage. Thanks to all the love you guys give. Now, onto the video. What if Deku stayed quirkless? Chapter 4. Deku pounded on his punching bag. He had a massive grin on his face. I need to get stronger. I can master this technique, said Deku. Deku launched a massive spin kick, splitting the punching bag in half. He sighed, then pulled out his phone, ordering a new one. Wonder if anyone else wants to train, said Deku. Deku opened the class group chat. Hey, does anyone want to train? Deku asked. Deku, you just got out of the hospital, you shouldn't be training. And anyway, isn't it the weekend? Asked Uraraka. Midoriya, make sure you aren't pushing yourself too hard, said Yaoyorozu. Just enjoy your time off, man, said Kaminari. This is how I enjoy my time. Come on guys, I want to practice some moves, said Deku. I'm down, where do you want to meet? Said Kirishima. Yes, Kirishima. The beach? Said Deku. Sounds good. See you in there in an hour? Said Kirishima. Anyone else coming? Come on guys, let's make this more fun, said Deku. Fine, I'll come with. Girls, anyone with me? Said Ashido. I'll come, said Hagakure. An hour later, Deku and Kirishima, Ashido and Hagakure stood on the sand. I've been thinking. Hagakure, I know something that will make you deadly on the battlefield, said Deku. Well, I don't want to kill people, said Hagakure. Not literally. I mean, it will make you terrifying for infiltration and stealth missions, said Deku. Ooh, sounds interesting, she said. Kirishima, can I use you for a demonstration? Said Deku. Sure, man, said Kirishima. Kirishima walked over and Deku span him around so he was facing away from him. Watch closely, said Deku. Deku moved his hand up to the back of Kirishima's neck. He then used several quick jabs to knock Kirishima out. Deku gently put Kirishima down, then walked over to Hagakure. With that one, he'll be asleep for about a minute, but I'll show you how to make it longer. Can you put on your gloves so I can see what you're doing with your hands? Said Deku. Hagakure nodded and Deku began showing her the steps. The four of them trained throughout the day, and soon the sun began to set. Man, I'm beat, said Kirishima. Why are you tired? You kept getting slept, said Ashido. That's tiring, said Kirishima. Thanks for letting me practice on you. That would really help, said Hagakure. Kirishima smiled, rubbing his neck. It's no problem, said Kirishima. You did really well today, said Deku. Deku put his hand on Hagakure's shoulder. You should be proud, said Deku. Deku couldn't tell, but Hagakure was blushing. Well, this was really fun, but I've got to get back, said Deku. Yeah, we should go too. We're going to miss our train, said Ashido. The next day, Deku was sat in class when Aizawa walked in. Morning, everyone. Next week will be the sports festival, so train hard. Deku smiled, clicking his knuckles. This was going to be fun. As soon as Deku got home, he immediately got training harder than ever before. Sadly, his new punching bag hadn't arrived yet, so he called up Kirishima. Hey man, I need a punching bag, said Deku. Do you want to borrow mine? Asked Kirishima. Can't I just use you? Asked Deku. That could work. What about your hands? They might get hurt, said Kirishima. Yeah, I'll be fine, said Deku. An hour later, Deku and Kirishima met on the beach. Okay, activate your quirk, said Deku. Kirishima nodded, making his entire body harder. Deku stretched his shoulders, then leapt at Kirishima. Each hit was devastating. It felt like a cannonball with each strike. This is insane. How can he be so strong? Thought Kirishima. Deku got faster and faster, each hit harder than the last. Feel free to hit back, said Deku. Kirishima swung at Deku, who dodged out of the way, hitting several pressure points on Kirishima's arm. His arm fell limply to his side. Interesting. I didn't think that would work on you, said Deku. Me neither. How long does it last? Said Kirishima. Just a few minutes, said Deku. Kirishima swung at Deku with his other arm, and Deku ducked underneath it. Let's see if this works, said Deku. Deku lowered his stance and took a deep breath. Keeping his movements fluid, he spun around, kicking Kirishima in the side. At the moment of impact, Deku shifted all of his momentum into his leg and kicked as hard as he could. Kirishima was sent flying backwards, smashing into a cliff. Deku ran over. Crap, sorry, you okay? Said Deku. Holy hell. Yeah, I'm fine, said Kirishima. For the next few hours, Deku pounded on Kirishima, slowly improving his water stream rock smashing fist. The week passed, and it was finally the day of the sports festival. The students walked out of the stadium to the sound of cheers from the crowd. Hello everyone, welcome this fine morning. Now for the student address. From the hero course with the highest points in the entrance exam. Tenya Ida, yelled President Mike. Ida walked onto the podium and cleared his throat. As the student president of Class 1A, it is my honour to make this speech. We promise to do our best, and not only show you our abilities, but also to show our fierce, heroic hearts. Thank you, said Ida. The crowd cheered as Ida descended. The first 2 rounds, the race and the cavalry battle, went off without issue. Finally, it was time for the one-on-one battles. This has been an exciting festival so far, hasn't it? Now it's time for the first one-on-one battle. On one side we have Midoriya from the hero course, and on the other side we have Shinso from the general studies, said President Mike. Hey Midoriya, before you go up there, that guy, Shinso, something is weird about him. Just before the cavalry battle, he asked me a question, and suddenly I couldn't move. It was like I was asleep. I came to halfway through the battle, but take care. He might have other tricks, said Ojiro. Thanks man, said Deku. Deku walked on to the stage. I saw you talking with that tail guy. What a pathetic man, said Shinso. Stay calm. He's just trying to get inside your head, thought Deku. Silently, Deku approached Shinso. As Deku closed the distance, Shinso's heart began pumping harder. What is with this guy? Hey, say something, yelled Shinso. Shinso swung at Deku, but Deku ducked his head out the way, moving so he was right in front of Shinso's face. Before Shinso could react, Deku grabbed him by the forehead, slamming into the ground. Deku stood up, walking away. You can end the match. He's not getting back up, said Deku. Midnight ran over and confirmed it. Midoriya wins. With one attack? What's his quirk? Yelled the crowd. As Shinso was being carried off, he woke up. Deku walked over to him. Don't call my friends pathetic. Deku then walked over to the stands, where he sat down next to Uraraka. That was amazing, Deku, said Uraraka. I just hope there's some real fights today, said Deku. Deku looked over at Todoroki, smiling. I'll take you down next, said Deku. Hey, not cool, man. I could win, said Sero. Oh, of course. I'm sorry, said Deku. Deku apologised as Sero left the room. Yeah, he's doomed, he said. Deku and Uraraka leaned forward to watch the match carefully. I think I need to see how Todoroki intends on starting his matches, thought Deku. The match began and suddenly Todoroki shot a massive wall of ice at Sero, instantly immobilising him. Okay, how do I counter that? Said Deku. Deku sat there thinking for a while until it was time for Bakugo and Uraraka's fight. Okay, wish me luck, said Uraraka. Oh, I don't want to watch this, thought Deku. Yeah, good luck, go get him, said Deku. Be honest, what are my chances? Said Uraraka. Not great. Sorry, said Deku. That's okay. I just have to do my best, said Uraraka. Deku smiled. That's the spirit, said Deku. The fight wasn't short. With every hit Uraraka took, her drive only got more powerful. Like a blacksmith folding steel, her resolve was strengthened. However, the same couldn't be said for her opponent. Something's wrong with him. His moves are sluggish, and he's not putting much energy into his attacks, thought Deku. Through the smoke, Uraraka threw her jacket at Bakugo. Normally he would be able to blast out of the air easily, but for some reason he missed, and it hit him in the face. Okay, something's wrong with Bakugo. I've never seen him this slow. Don't you know what's wrong? It's what you said back then, about him not being a hero. Right now, he's fighting a battle on 2 fronts, said Kirishima. Bakugo tore the jacket off his face to see Uraraka coming from in front of him. He blasted away, which kicked up a massive amount of dust. Finally, said Uraraka. Uraraka released her quirk, and a massive amount of rocks began to fall from the sky, but Bakugo hadn't noticed. With all the dust and his slowed reaction, it took him too long to see the falling rocks. One slammed into the ground in front of Bakugo. Instinctively, Bakugo blasted himself away, sending his body straight into Uraraka. To protect herself, she put up her hands. As Bakugo hit her, she accidentally activated her quirk, making Bakugo float. What the? She might win, said Deku. Coming to his senses, Bakugo fired a massive blast behind him, rocketing right towards Uraraka. She had been stunned by the hit and didn't see Bakugo coming back at her. Then she was suddenly hit with a massive blast to the side. Uraraka was thrown violently out of the arena. "That was close," said Bakugo. Bakugo slapped himself in the face. "Get a grip already," said Bakugo. Bakugo looked up at the stadium and met eyes with Deku. Guilt filled Bakugo again as he walked off the stage. What do I do in this situation?" said Deku. A few more matches happened, and then it was time for Deku to fight Todoroki. They walked out onto the stage to thunderous applause. "You said you beat me, right? I'd like to see you try," said Todoroki. Deku got into a deep stance and loosened his limbs. "This is going to be tough," said Deku. "Begin," yelled President Mike. Suddenly, Todoroki shot a massive wall of ice at Deku. "It's as wide as the stage. I can't dodge it. Guess I have to go through it," said Deku. Deku deepened his stance even more, holding his left hand in front of him. "What's he doing?" asked the crowd. The wall crashed across the stage until it was right on top of Deku. "Now," said Deku. Deku's left hand was pushed back by the wall, and in a fraction of a second, Deku spun around, redirecting the kinetic energy of the massive wall straight back towards Todoroki. As Deku's fist hit the ice, he could see it dent and shatter. For a fraction of a second, he could see Todoroki's expression turn to shock. "Perfect," said Deku. As the broken ice fell down, Deku darted behind some and disappeared from view. "Crap, where'd he go? I can't afford to lose sight of him," said Todoroki. Todoroki went to slam his hand on the ground to send out another wall, but he was hit in the head with something. Todoroki reached up. "Ice?" asked Todoroki. Todoroki looked up and saw several small balls of ice falling towards him. "What the?" asked Todoroki. Todoroki dodged out the way, then refocused on where Deku was. "Come out already!" yelled Todoroki. "I'm right here," said Deku. Todoroki spun around to see Deku standing behind him. Before Todoroki could react, Deku kicked him hard in the stomach, sending him back. Deku didn't let up and leapt after Todoroki, who tried to launch another wall, but Deku's fist met his jaw before he could. "I can't win in hand-to-hand," said Todoroki. Todoroki quickly used an ice spike to push himself to the other end of the arena. "You shouldn't have taken your eyes off me," said Deku. Deku began to sprint straight at Todoroki, who shot another ice wall at him. Before Todoroki was completely obscured by ice, Deku threw another chunk of ice at Todoroki. It hit him hard between the eyes, obscuring his vision. "He's slowing, and his ice isn't as wide," said Deku. Deku slid to the side, dodging the ice, then disappeared into the dust. "Where did he go?" asked the crowd. Suddenly, Todoroki's legs were swept from underneath him. He hit the ground hard and looked up to see Deku's foot coming straight for him. Instinctively, Todoroki activated its flames, filling the arena with fire. "That's your biggest mistake," said Deku. The ice in the area melted and turned to steam, filling the arena. Todoroki's heart began pounding harder and harder as he got to his feet. "Where do you keep going?" yelled Todoroki. "I can mask my presence. It's hard to do, but all I have to do is breathe slow and clear my mind," said Deku. Todoroki shot a wall of ice in the direction of Deku's voice, but as he did, someone kicked out his knees. Deku then hit all the pressure points in his right side. "That should make this more fun," said Deku. "What did you do?" asked Todoroki. "I could have knocked you out just then, but I chose to block your quirk on your right side. Now you can only use fire." "I refuse to use my fire," yelled Todoroki. "Then you make my job easy," said Deku. Deku leapt at Todoroki. Todoroki tried to use his ice, but nothing happened. "Damn it, he was telling the truth," yelled Todoroki. "I don't know why you won't use your fire, but if you don't stand a chance of beating me." Deku punched Todoroki hard in the nose, and swept his legs up from underneath him. "Last chance," said Deku. Deku raised his fist, but jumped away just in time to dodge a massive flame burst. "Finally," said Deku. With the increased temperature, all the steam cleared, finally letting the crowd see the two. "Oh wow, they're both still going. What happened to Todoroki's face?" said the crowd. "Finally, Shoto, you have grown past this childish tantrum," yelled Endeavor. Todoroki got to his feet and shot a massive fire blast at Deku. Deku dodged to the side, barely evading it, and jumped forward. He will beat me if I stay at range, said Deku. Deku sped up, getting lower to the ground. Todoroki shot another blast at Deku. As it was just about to hit Deku, he jumped to the side, evading it, but it was hit in the chest by another blast. Todoroki had hidden a second blast behind the first. Yes, just like that, said Deku. Deku landed on his feet, sprinting again. The distance between them was quickly closing. Why won't you stay down? Yelled Todoroki. Todoroki activated his fire side at full power. Like a phoenix spreading its wings, fire covered the arena. Todoroki was right on top of Deku was right on top of Todoroki. I have one shot. I can't miss, said Todoroki. Todoroki watched closely and saw that Deku was about to jump. I win, said Todoroki. As Deku's feet left the ground, Todoroki fired his blast. It tore through the air like a bullet. However, it hadn't hit Deku. Deku jumped straight forward, narrowly avoiding the fire, then grabbed Todoroki's legs, knocking him down. Todoroki fell forward as Deku span right behind him. As Todoroki fell, Deku grabbed hold of his wrist, slamming him into the ground. Good fight, man. Now, surrender, said Deku. Never, yelled Todoroki. Todoroki turned his hand around and began to charge a blast. However, before he could fire, Deku shot some quick jabs into his neck, knocking him out. Todoroki flopped to the ground unconscious as Deku got to his feet. Deku smiled to the crowd and then clicked his knuckles. Midoriya wins, yelled Present Mike. The crowd cheers as Endeavor is for the first time left speechless. Who is this boy, and what is his quirk that allows him to humiliate my Shoto like that? Yelled Endeavor. Deku bowed to the crowd, then left the stage. He walked back upstairs and sat down next to Uraraka. You are terrifying. How did you do that? said Uraraka. A little bit of luck. I honestly didn't know that I could break the ice. How did I look? Said Deku. It was amazing, said Uraraka. You ain't seen nothing yet. Next up is Ida, and I honestly don't like my chances, said Deku. You think you might lose? Asked Uraraka. Let's not jump the gun, said Deku. Deku smiled, looking over at Ida. Deku? Said Bakugo. Deku turned to see Bakugo. Come on, man. I said don't call me that, said Deku. Oh, sorry, Midoriya, said Bakugo. Oh my god, something is seriously wrong. He would never apologize, thought Deku. You better win. I want a rematch, said Bakugo. Deku smiled. I'd like that. Don't worry, I'll be gentle this time, said Deku. Bakugo walked off, and Deku went back to watching the fights with Uraraka. A few minutes passed until it was time. Ida and Deku walked down to the stage and climbed on. Deku smiled when he saw Ida, and the two of them walked into the centre of the stage. I want your very best, buddy, said Deku. Just try and keep up, said Ida. The two smiled at each other and then bumped fists. Begin, said Present Mike. Instantly, Ida activated both Reciprocal Burst and One for All. God, he's fast, said Deku. Deku lifted up his leg just in time to avoid a leg sweep but was caught off guard when a kick came from right above him milliseconds later. He's looking to end this fight instantly, said Deku. Deku rolled to the side, but when he looked up, Ida was gone. He's too fast, said Deku. Deku got to his feet just to see Ida zip past. I can't see what he's going to do, but I know where he's going to be. Ida spun around, bringing a kick straight into where Ida's face was. Your movements are predictable, said Deku. Ida spun to the ground but quickly got to his feet. He then accelerated even more. Each footstep sounded like a thunder, shaking the entire stadium. I can't see him, but I need to predict his hits. Legs. Deku moved his leg, narrowly avoiding a massive kick. Chest. Deku dropped forward, letting Ida pass over him. That's your weakness. With such great speed, you don't have a lot of time to think about what your next attack is. You become predictable, said Deku. Deku lowered his stance, ready to the next attack. A massive kick from Ida crashed into Deku, but Deku redirected the energy straight back into Ida's chest, sending him back. And I figured out your weakness, said Ida. Deku's ears perked up. What's that? Said Deku. Ida shot forward, but he was slower. What the? Ida jumped, pulled back his fist, ready to punch Deku. Deku rolled backwards to avoid it, but Ida didn't let up. He came in with another hit, which Deku was forced to redirect. However, this was exactly what Ida wanted. As soon as Deku redirected the energy, Ida went full power and brought his leg straight into Deku's ribs. Deku dug in his feet, refusing to move as Ida's exhaust blasted away. Deku's arm had managed to block the kick, but with each passing second it got weaker. Thinking quickly, Deku targeted the pressure points in Ida's chest. This is over. One for all. 10%. For a second, Ida flashed into 10%, massively increasing his power of his kick. Deku lost his grip and went flying into Deku's ribs, sending him out of the stage. Ida walked over, helping up Deku. That was a tough fight. And your weakness is that you can't use your redirection straight after you've already used it. Man, you've got strong. You better win this thing, said Deku. And thanks for telling me. I hadn't realised. And the winner is Ida, yelled Midnight. Deku walked back up the stairs and sat next to Uraraka again. Sorry about your loss, said Uraraka. Nah, I didn't think I could win. He's just too fast. Yeah, he'll win this tournament. A few minutes passed to allow the two finalists to rest, and then it was time for the final. Bakugo walked up first. He looked in a better mood at the start of the festival, but was still looking rough. Next up was Ida. Ida was worse. He made Bakugo look like he was singing with joy. Something's happening, said Deku. Begin, said President Mike. Bakugo shot at Ida, but before Bakugo could make contact, Ida stepped off the stage and walked off. What the? Yelled the crowd. Deku immediately got to his feet and sprinted down to the changing rooms. He burst through the door to see Ida on the phone. Oh, okay, I'll see you in a bit. I love you too, Mother, said Ida. Ida hung up and sat down on a chair. Deku could see that he was shaking. What's wrong? Said Deku. My brother, he was attacked by a villain, said Ida. Deku's heart sank. He could see it on Ida's face. He's being moved to the hospital now, but he's in critical condition, said Ida. What can I do? Said Deku. They believe it was the hero killer. I'm going to find him and take him down. Will you help me? Said Ida. Of course, buddy, said Deku. End of chapter 4.